foro poro no let ke shmiri firi pipa la loco moro hiri miri shifa na papa Has anybody? Can anybody text me and tell me? Now, I know that the FM and the tune in are casualties of the cold, and I'll have to fix them after the show. So while we're here, you will have to listen to us on AM, or if one of you guys lets me know, tells me that we are on YouTube. YouTube. What? No, YouTube. What'd you say? I said, are we on YouTube? And no one's texted me, so I have no way. And the computer's firing up. And since we might be on YouTube, I can't play any music. So what we got to do is open up a different log, and we got to hoopa la cara schmidi fi up a lot more. Oh, not yet. All right, stop for a second. You know, you're really doing this too quickly. Pause. Okay, good. All right. So, is anybody? I mean, I'm going to check myself because you guys aren't mature enough to tell me either that or nobody woke up after IU won the national championship yesterday. Lokos Moro for Paul Goddard. He doesn't have a life. He's telling me we're on. What Verley say? Like, now Verley, I la cash meta for the puta pa. All right, let me see. So Verley says that I'm guessing she's waiting. No. I gotta just open the door. It should be propped open, but I guess maybe it locked on you. So here's what we do. We will go back and we will do what I was going to do, and I'm going to let Verley in, and you guys are going to be quiet for a second. Be right back on the voice and face of the region, if you know what I mean.
High school basketball postseason is here, with the girls starting February 3rd and boys March 3rd. Be on every game for as low as $1,500. Sponsor local. Reach millions. Visit heartlandsportsnet.com today for more information. St. Nicholas Byzantine Catholic Church, located at 8103 Columbia Avenue in Munster, celebrates Divine Liturgy every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. We are Eastern Rite Catholics in union with the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. All Catholics who celebrate Divine Liturgy or Mass with us fulfill their Holy Day and Sunday obligations as they do in their own churches. Join us in person this coming Sunday to find out the beauty of a Byzantine Catholic Divine Liturgy at St. Nicholas Church.
But it's time. You gotta catch up.
Yeah. I'll catch up with you. I'll be right back.
I'll see you in a minute.
Anything else? Yeah.
Well, what's up, boy? Hey, Ryan. Not tonight, man. Not tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, come on. Let's go. Come in.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
Hele modoloro shmira. Who's calling me? Mark, what's going on? What you gonna tell me, Mark? Let's see. Apalokoro shmi fidi moro. Hele de herege. Molo nyereshkifi pipa. Mark's gonna tell me that we are off of TuneIn, right? Locos moto fudo parama. Let's see what Mark says. I'll send him a message. All right. What's up, Mark? Now, Mark is the best at telling me when something's not working. And I believe we had to turn the tune-in off last night to run the IU game. Would that have been right? Did we run it? I don't even know, huh? Hey, can you guys be quiet for a second? Well, I take in the joy of this moment, which is Verley Suggs bringing me a steaming hot coffee after IU wins the national championship. Now, I got to be honest with you. I went out for the first half after my uncle's funeral yesterday. What a big day. But the family bar there, if you ever go to 313 Tap in Munster, that is my sister and brother-in-law, and then Hannes's, whom I've known for ages. They got together and they put together kind of the family bar. And I would say I had at least 10 relatives, if not more, in that bar last night. Loco, TuneIn, and YouTube are both working. That's not possible. That's not possible. Hey, Corey Rex is up. But anyways, Corey, you missed going over to 313. My brother Jeff was in town from Bloomtown with his wife Laura. My brother Brian was there for a while, even though he's got work today, with his wife Michelle. My sister, of course, Jennifer, Mark Forsythe. And then I had 4 rather large human beings in from Utah, Kansas City, and Orlando. And they were in for my uncle's funeral. They were sitting there just going, what is wrong with you people? And I sat and talked to one of I think probably the winningest basketball coach in the region for a while. It was an amazing time watching the first half of the IU game. But then I'm like, my dad was coming, and my dad calls me, and I'm like, Dad, I'm going along with the ride right now, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to handle, if IU wins, all of these red shirts running around. They're just going to slobber all over themselves. It's going to be like the start of the century. And, I'm all for it. I want IU to win. But I don't want to be a part of that. And my dad says, neither do I. I'll meet you at your house. So we went home, and then my other cousins from around the country came home. They weren't IU fans, so we watched the game, and then IU won, and I'm like, hey, way to go, and then I went to bed. Now, that was not what a lot of other people did. And we're going to hear what Don Fisher did, because Sam Michael will interview him in a couple hours. And then I will make Sam cut it up, and we'll play that thing all day long, every hour. We'll play the Don Fisher interview today. And I'm so excited for IU, but not that excited. I'll tell you, my little brother, or my little nephew, Alan, he goes to Purdue. We're a Purdue family. And, by the way, notice how I'm not turning Verley's mic on yet? Anyways, my little nephew, Al, goes to Purdue, and his buddies at IU, his 3 best buddies are at IU, and they go, hey, man, I got a 4th ticket. We're going to the Peach Bowl, which was last week or a week and a half ago. And, Alan, you want to go? So Al's like, all right. So he hitches a ride from Purdue to IU, and then he gets in the car with his IU buddies. And then he's going to the game, and he talks to his mom once he gets down to Atlanta. And his mom goes, hey, well, what IU stuff are you going to wear? And he's like, nah. And my sister-in-law goes, well, what do you mean, Alan? You're going down there? IU's playing? And he goes, Mom, if Purdue was playing in the Peach Bowl, how many IU fans do you think would wear a Purdue shirt? And I'm like, man, did I help teach that young guy a little? He's just got it. He's got it upstairs, because I'm like, yes, he's correct. It's like Kuziak yesterday. He wouldn't wear an IU shirt, but he shows up in this big red sweatshirt of Oklahoma and walking around like he's an IU fan, and he's not. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways, what a beautiful day, man. It really is. Verley Suggs, how are you?
Doing fantastic, especially after last night.
Hey, thank you for the coffee. For some reason, I really needed it today. Does that make any
wonder
sense?
why. Well, you just explained why, actually.
Well, I went out there. I only had a couple beers because, I was into it. And, we were coming off a funeral. So I think that might have taken a little bit of the celebratory mood off for me. But we have a huge house full of people. And I get up this morning, and I haven't talked to anybody before 5 o'clock in 20 years. And my cousin's down there. He's this 6'6" dude, and he's standing downstairs, and he goes, "My brother didn't come home." And I'm like, "Well, I go, are you surprised?" He was out with my brothers and my brother-in-law and a bunch of other relatives watching the game. We left him there. He's like, "I ain't leaving here." I'm like, "I am not putting up." And they showed all the videos of the bar and everything at the 313 Tap Room. And I'm like, my dad and I both knew that's what it was going to be. I go, I can't handle that. I'll just get out and I'll walk home. And Alexis is like, "Why are we leaving?" I go, "I'm not going to put up with this celebrating and all that."
Why? That's such a hater attitude.
It's not a hater.
You're supposed to celebrate because you're a Hoosier.
I am celebrating because I'm a Hoosier, but just there's limits to it. Does that make sense? I mean, I could only go so far before I was going to, I just couldn't go that distance. Does that make sense?
Well, I would see my husband feeling the same way if it was Purdue.
Yeah.
So I can understand your sentiment. I have a family of haters of Purdue. So I definitely understand where you're going. But definitely they are not hating after last night. They have not been hating this entire season regarding IU.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
What did your husband do when Purdue played in the national championship for basketball?
Did
he watch the game, and was he rooting for Purdue, or did he go to a bar in a black and gold sweatshirt or anything?
No, he didn't, and I have to have him call in and say what he did because I don't know.
Would he call? I mean, we're going to take IU.
He tried to call last week. He said to talk about IU, so maybe he'll call.
All right. Well, just have him text when he's calling, so I know which one he is. So where did you watch the game?
I actually didn't watch the game. I refrained from watching the game. He was watching it. One of his friends came, and they watched it together, and then he spent the night. So I have house guests as well. But I didn't want to go through the emotion of, I'm not really a big sports fan. I'm definitely a big fan of IU, but I just didn't want to go through the highs and lows of worrying about whether they were going to win or not. So I just figured I will wait for the outcome, and that's what I did.
What'd you do during the game?
I watched Housewives, and I watched episodes of Beyond the Gates, and I just watched regular TV.
Gosh, I thought you think I was bad. I couldn't sit there any longer. What really got me was Kuziak.
I did wear an IU sweatshirt, though. I did wear my IU sweatshirt, so I was supporting them, but just supporting them silently through prayer.
Did you wear Bears paraphernalia the night before?
No, I did not. I put one on, a little onesie on my grandson, though. So he did have on Bears, and my husband always wears whatever team he's supporting.
I wore a bunch of Bears stuff. I had a T-shirt on, I had a sweatshirt on, and then, of course, we lost at the last minute.
Well, see, and that's another reason why I didn't watch the game, because
you couldn't do two in a row.
I couldn't, why I didn't watch the Bears, because I'm like, oh, this is too. And if the Bears win, then they're definitely not coming to Indiana. But if they lose, there's still a possibility, and, So that was going through my head.
I agree. If they won, that would, and especially if they won next week and they were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, they had a nice run. They're kind of a little open to what they could do.
Right.
So I'm a little worried because my cousin, he's younger. He's from Orlando. He lived up here with us for a couple of years in our house with Alexis and me and the girls when they were younger. So he actually has friends, and he knows a lot. He knows a decent amount of people. So he brings his family that doesn't know anybody here. They were in for the funeral. And so all of a sudden he's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And then it's time to go, and he's like, I'm not going. And then I wake up this morning and he's not home yet. I go, he was with my two little brothers.
He may not sleeping on a couch somewhere.
He may not be home for a couple days. Hey, congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. If you guys have anything you want to say about it, all you got to do is call it 219-845-1100. Let's cut to the chase on that one. Verley brought it up. If you guys read my Substack, and I do write something regularly now. It's kind of my new venue for getting my whatever's in my mind out. And please go to Substack, type in Jim Dedelow, and you'll be able to read my stuff. And please subscribe to it if you would. I think I got 150 of you, and I appreciate it. I'd like to get it up to 500 at one point throughout the year and make it worthwhile sitting down and writing that. It takes a couple hours. But I wrote about the Bears coming to Indiana. And is that a possibility? Yes, it's always a possibility. It's a very low probability. But the talks have progressed all the way to the governor's office. Certainly, Mayor Melton is very involved. Mayor McDermott is very involved. Who knows if Huddleston's even involved? And you have a lot of other people that are in the economic development community are involved. And they seem to, I hear all sorts of scuttlebutt about who's in the front runner and it's really going to happen. And then, oh, man, But Greg Doyle, who is kind of the number one writer about sports things and kind of culture things, but he writes out of the Indy Star, probably the number one writer in Indiana, or the most popular. And I met him a couple times, but he wrote one on Sunday or yesterday or 2 days ago that he said that good luck for you, Northwest Indiana, but in the end, you're only getting jerked around by billionaires. And I'm like, gosh, what a great term. I don't believe it. But I will tell you my real take on that after I find out from Verley what she thinks.
Well, I believe in possibilities, but I'm also a realist. If Illinois sweetens the pot, then there's a possibility they will stay. But I believe that Northwest Indiana is being seriously considered, not just as a leverage point to make Illinois and the governor cough up the money they're looking for, but also they're looking at Indiana as a true possibility. And believe me, they wouldn't have sent out surveys to their season ticket holders, and they wouldn't be pursuing it to the degree that they are if they really did not believe that this could happen. Now, as far as Hammond, really, Wolf Lake, you really think that the Bears would move from Soldier Field location on Lake Michigan or their Arlington racetrack location to Wolf Lake? I don't believe that would happen, no matter how close it is to where the existing stadium is, because Arlington Heights is much further, and they go there before they go to Wolf Lake. But as far as Gary, who has presented 3 wonderful options and has been pursuing this in a very professional manner, I believe that could possibly happen if they move to Northwest Indiana. So let me put it this way. Either they're going to stay in Chicago, stay in Illinois, go to Arlington Heights, which is in Illinois but not Chicago, or they're going to come to Northwest Indiana. I would say it would be into Gary.
I agree with that. I mean, I remember when Mayor McDermott Sr. was trying to put the airport over there on the Wolf Lake property, and it just didn't fit. And there was a huge push for that. It might even have been before you were like active around here. And it's just a tough fit over there just by the amount of land and the kind of land and the surrounding atmosphere. In a weird way, I think it would be kind of cool to come out and see BP Whiting Refinery, to see, other smokestacks along the lake, and then see the huge Skyway. It would be kind of cool, but I would say certainly Gary would be the front runner. And from what I understand, Roger Goodell came in and they showed him a couple of sites, and they weren't thrilled about that one. But I don't know the details about that. My thinking on this, and if you read my Substack, I put it out there, is that who cares?
Who cares?
Here's why.
Okay.
And I had a couple people. I want to say thanks to Tom Dockich commented, and there was a couple other guys in the economic development world. I'm like, listen, here's what's happening in my mind. What is happening in Northwest Indiana is that we have lived a life of being America's lovable losers for a very long time. You go back to the Depression era, and John Dillinger could openly walk around East Chicago, Indiana. And why could he do that? Because it was the most corrupt place in America. And that tradition of corruption has stayed with us. It's kind of hanging around with us now. Our tradition of pollution, of this unchecked industrial development along the lake, is with us. You got pollution, corruption, congestion on the traffic, and trains everywhere. And then we took casinos. We have cigarettes. We have gambling. And you have no central city. I mean, you have an area that, let's just be straight, we internalize what Indy looks down on us like you wouldn't believe, and that comes out in how much money they send us. We send them a size large shirt. It comes back, they wash it, and it comes back as a size medium or a small. And the same thing, I worked in the pits of Chicago for 20 years, and on a regular basis, people ripped on me for being from Indiana like we were some backward part of the country. So our backwardness, all of these kind of negative factors, we don't internalize that we could actually be on the move. We could actually be a hot area. Look at the price of your homes. I mean, yeah, it's cost you more in property taxes, but not that much more. And many of your homes have gone up 50% or more in the last few years, 7 years or so. And there's a reason for all that in my mind, is that we are a hot area, and the data centers are coming here. Nippon Steel doesn't buy U.S. Steel if they haven't done their homework about us being able to maintain our infrastructure and provide a good labor force. BP's over here. Who knows what's going to happen with these next labor negotiations, but they're in for the long haul. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, they're all want to build data centers here. Yes, there are environmental concerns, but they don't put them there if they don't think our power is going to be good enough, or our labor force isn't going to be able to handle it. So yes, the Bears coming here maybe makes sense, but even if it doesn't happen, it's telling the world, gosh, the NFL almost came there. What do they have that? I mean, we have to act like. Always bargain from a position of strength, my mom used to say when I was little. Always bargain from a position of strength. We don't know how to do that. We just don't know how to do that. Now all of a sudden, we have some strength. What's our next step? What is our next step?
Well, first of all, the negative picture that you painted to start your
diatribe.
I don't share. So I believe corruption exists all over the country, right next door. And they're one of the top economic powerhouses, the city of Chicago. So I disagree. I think that, yes, we are different communities and we're coming from different standpoints on what we believe in. I believe that the city of Gary is prepared to move into the next century. I believe that they are going to be the biggest comeback story, as the mayor likes to tout. And I believe that based on the fact that as the entities that you mentioned, and Nippon, and remember when Nippon first voiced their desire to come to U.S. Steel, all the negative feedback that came out of that, and now it's a reality. So Mayor Melton has never lost hope or faith that these things would happen. And I believe that he has a team in place that is able to present. I mean, look how quickly they came out with 3 proposed sites. They didn't just drive across the border and say, hey, we got a bandstand. Why don't you build it here? They actually put work and thought into it, just like they did with the convention center. They didn't just say, hey, we got a little site over here by the mall. There's lots to do here by the mall. Why don't you build it here? No, they came through with a presentation of why that was the best location, and ultimately it was picked. So I believe that it depends on who your team is, what you have to offer, and I believe that moving forward into the future, that all these other communities around here that have benefited, that don't have a casino on their property, that have benefited from casino dollars coming from Gary, Hammond, East Chicago, what have you, they have all benefited for that. But they all still have that negative viewpoint of the communities that they're getting money from.
So can I address that? You see, I agree with you. I mean, I disagree with you on our past. I've been here all my life. I'm generations into this. I don't know how many. Now that I think about it, it's several generations. I have always felt that my homeland is undervalued and underappreciated by the world and by ourselves. Okay? Now, that isn't, something I could ask you to internalize coming from Queens. I get it, but it's real, okay? It's real, and we can just disagree on that. But I think the point at where we're at is that the world is noticing and putting not just 100,000 or 100 million. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars. Now, the reason that I think it is possible for the Bears to come at a very low probability, and I wouldn't even give it 20% right now, but is that they too are businessmen and women, and they will look and say, gosh, this area is, for a number of reasons, it'll be a lot lower to build, a lot lower taxes, and they'll give us incentives. And if our players want to claim Indiana residency, they're going to pay a lot less taxes. I mean, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars less that you'd be giving the state of Illinois over years. So there are a lot of good reasons, but the other part of it is that we have to internalize that we are winning. And I don't mean the city of Gary, and I don't mean the city of Hammond. So automatically what's already developing in my mind is that McDermott and his team are, I don't know, I'm saying this is my opinion and my First Amendment right to say that it's my opinion that there might have been some Hammond involvement in sending out tractors out during a Bears game, okay? I mean, it got a lot of play, but come on, man, it's a stunt. And then Phil Talon, who comes out of McDermott's administration, and he's putting, he goes up with Byway Brewing, which is in Hammond, and they come out with this, let's have free wings or something. I didn't quite get it. I mean, the stunts are there. It's like, hey, look at us, we're Hammond. And now you're exhibiting the look at us, we're Gary.
Right, but we're not. But Gary, the difference between Hammond and what they put forth, that was a stunt. Gary is not putting forth stunts. Gary is putting forth work and reality. And so you brought up Queens, and I grew up in Queens, but I also grew up in New York City, because that Queens is one of the boroughs of New York City. New Yorkers grow up in New York City. We don't just stick in one little area and not know the world. New Yorkers know New York City. So New Yorkers always look down on New Jersey. They must be a Jersey driver. We never liked we figured Jersey? Yuck.
Well, you think Illinois drivers are bad. Jersey drivers are worse. Well, so says my son-in-law.
See?
All right.
So now both of New York's major teams, the state of New York has 3 teams. Only one team plays in New York, and that's Buffalo. That's not even in New York City. Both of New York City's teams play in New Jersey, the place that we would have looked at as the armpit. So it just shows you what is possible. The only thing we used to go to New York for is to get cheaper gas and not to have to pay taxes at the mall.
New Jersey, you mean?
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here is my point about where we are. We are at a point where we could be winning and we could be setting the table for generations to come.
And let me say one more thing. New Jersey, Newark, which was another place that people looked at as Newark.
The armpit of America
Yep.
used to be called.
Has one of the major international airports in the country, part of the Airport Authority, which includes John F. Kennedy and LaGuardia Airport. Newark Airport is one of the top destinations for international travel. So it just shows you what the possibilities are. Gary has an airport.
Okay.
They had the lakefront.
I got your point on the possibilities. I got to take a break, but I want to disagree on one thing that is happening right now, and it's a dynamic that I am just warning our own area about. We're not used to being winners, and I will tell you what is developing in my mind now that we have to watch out about. And I'll be right back on the voice and face of the Calumet region.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues
Nicole,
arise,
come
whether it's
on.
a car accident,
Kick it up.
personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards,
Nicole.
you want a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Hey, sorry about that. It's a little further. I got to move that microwave over here. Once again,
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. I'm Jim Dedelow, and I'm the owner here and the morning host sometimes. And I want to say thank you to everybody else who's taking time, including Verley, out of their days. Bob Starkey, Chuck Pullen, Tom Dabberton. Adriana Alvarez has taken a bigger role in the morning. Joe Semino and others. Sometimes Brent Brazier of Docs, Matt Maloney of Matt Maloney Realty. I mean, it's a real team effort, and you guys keep the discussion going along. I see your phone calls. Just give me a second here. I need to talk a little bit about traffic and weather, and, of course, it's just but cold right now. And I came back, had to come back a couple times over the weekend. This is an old building, and it's massive. Keep the water running, making sure everything's okay. For some reason, I think the FM, when it gets really cold, this has happened before when it gets below zero. I don't know what it is, but I'll fix it eventually. But today, right now, it is 2 degrees, and it right here at the Strachan Van Til Studios behind Smith Chevrolet. And it's going to be a nice sunny day, but, man, is it going to be cold. High, it'll get up to around 20 degrees. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit of snow will come our way, as you get a high of 30, so it'll warm up a little bit. But don't worry about by Saturday we get to minus 11 degrees. So we're in the middle of kind of a off and on, just real big cold snap. In terms of traffic, which I have now not put on my screen, so let me just talk. I'm trying to teach the young people how to talk through something. Like, if they're, looking for something on an interroad to go, hold on, no, you just talk through it. It's the same way when you announce a game. You ever listen to Don Fisher announce a game? He is the best guy at talking through waiting for a call or whatever. But anyways, there's very little traffic right now. Might be a little bit of a brake tapper at the Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan, but that's about it. I mean, it is really light. I don't know if it's a cold or if it's the IU win or whatever, but it's a Tuesday morning after a 3-day weekend, MLK Day yesterday, so there should be a lot more people on the roadways. Big stuff over the weekend, of course. The Bears lost, and then IU won, and congratulations to the IU Hoosiers. I think Sam tapes an interview with 52-year announcer Don Fisher, I don't know, around 8:30, and I'll make sure that I get the audio of that, and I'll play it off and on WJOB all day long. I do want to say that you guys hearing a lot of just we're retooling WJOB. I told you that we were going to move back here, and the sports network was going to go its merry way. And while we're doing that, if you have any input on what you would like to see here, now's the time. Jed at WJOB1230.com. We have plenty of ideas. Verley's contributed. Everybody's contributed here. Most of it lies on the backs of 4 young people that are coming out or still in school or coming out of school, and I've kind of charged with them with recreating what our programming and our podcasting should be like. So I'm not in any hurry. We've been doing this for 102 years. As we rebuild, I've asked Brian Cummings and Joe Calderon to put together some music segments, and we play a little bit of those. But if you have any ideas, we'll be back to our normal discussion. Verley and I started the discussion about the Bears coming to Gary. And we both agree that there are major possibilities here in the region. Verley and I disagree a little bit about the past. But Verley, here's my point, is that we don't have the mentality and we don't have the infrastructure to think like a region and think like an area and think like people that can come together that can pull off really big things. Case in point. Here we are. The Bears are looking at us. All right. Better yet, for the past 20 years, I'm a cheerleader for all of the towns around Gary for understanding that Gary is the major engine for what we do in the Calumet region, and that there are real possibilities and great neighborhoods and a great downtown, and that one day this will be discovered. And I am regularly, I guess, knocked around for that. And the whole idea isn't such that Gary is such a great place or Hammond is such a great place or Crown Point is. The idea is that we have to think as one. This one region BS, I don't even care. And here we are. The Bears are coming. And for years, I sat here with Karen. I sat here with Jerome. I sat here. I can't even remember the other mayors. Man, I come and talk to you, Jed. You accept and you understand, Gary. But, the rest of the Lake County disses us. And now the Bears are coming here. And Gary's like, oh, it's all me. It's a Gary thing. It's all us. It's just our Gary thing. And it has to be a regional thing. It can't be both ways. It can't be, hey, please, let's have a regional look and let's look at the strength of what Gary is. Well, we're looking at Gary. Well, hey, this is us. This is Gary doing it.
So let me say this, because there are entities that deal with regional things. The RDA, Heather Ennis over there. There's people who deal with the regional things. Right now, the mayor of the city that we're in right now has made a point of putting down other communities that have gone forth with efforts. And so Gary is happy to work with everyone and anyone. They don't have to put down another community in order to put themselves above. And that's what hasn't been learned by some surrounding communities. They feel that they have to put you down in order to climb over you instead of trying to work together. So I don't believe that Gary is only Gary focused to the degree that they're not willing to work with other communities, because they've shown that in their effort with this convention center. They had to get 3 commissioners. All 3 of them were unanimous in their agreement. Now, granted, Repay was kind of a little nervous about making his decision to support it based on his affinity to Hammond, but all 3 of them did. So there is the ability to come together. Of course, Lake County is the county that Gary sits in. So the Lake County commissioners, the Lake County council, all those entities have to be a part of it.
I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying.
I hear the negativity toward Gary.
No.
And I'm not saying from you.
The negativity towards Gary is real, and I called people out on it, okay? But when it comes down to do something massive and do things together, Gary has to understand it is one piece of the puzzle, not me, Gary.
But how do you know Gary does not understand that?
Well, the number one thing that's happening right now behind the scenes, in my mind, and this is just watching it, knowing the egos involved, is that it's going to be a Hammond versus Gary thing, and that is going to be...
No, it's not.
All right, well...
Hammond is not even in the running, so...
Well, that attitude is what I'm saying.
I said the same thing about Hobart. I mean, come on. So it's not a matter of that attitude. It's a matter of reality.
The reality of that is, yes, it's definitely the sites that are offered up in Gary or in Hobart, are better than Hammond from us looking at it, okay? We get that. But what I'm trying to say, and what I was writing, and what I think some of the people got, was that if we are finally winning, the world is looking from the outside at us, and they're coming to us, and if we do what we've always done, which is bicker amongst the communities, and, I'm taking mine, and we will not set ourselves up for the kind of strength that is possible. And it's already happening. And
so tell me where it's already happening, because if anything, the world leader of this country, the leader of this country who's heading over to Switzerland is facing world leaders who are looking at this country as a maniac is running it. He didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, so now he's gone after the country that gives it. So what that is the example that we should be more concerned of, more so than the example of Mayor Melton and Mayor McDermott, because those are the global entities that come to this country and take up stakes and bring their businesses, right? They see President Trump saying, I'm going to put tariffs on you all because you don't want to let me take over another sovereign entity. It is the craziest world that we live in. That, to me, is more concerning than the world looking at Hammond and Gary both wanting to put a NFL stadium in their city.
What you're talking about is huge, and I agree with much of what you're talking about our foreign policy and what we're doing on a world stage. I get that. My concern over buying this radio station, coming all back here to the region, and getting involved as much as I have, is the concern for our region. My dad's company was in Gary. I spent my childhood there. I go do games there. I pick my wife up there. I'm a huge fan of Gary. I'm a huge fan of Hammond. I'm a huge fan of the entire region as a whole. And at some points, I can be a little bit of the canary telling everybody, hey, listen, this is the moment that we have to be as one and not as We have to, number one, figure out that we are winning, and number two, we have to operate as one. But the very first part is we don't know how to react to the fact that we're winning the game. And that is a big factor for me. It's bigger than guys, bickering and not having a central authority of like who really runs things around here. Nobody ever wanted to give up that power or cede that authority. So when it's time to do a big job, we don't have anybody that could take that reins, structurally or politically. So we have two major things to do. We have to figure out, and we got to change our mentality, and then we have to understand that we have to operate as one. And that worries me for the future.
I don't really see that we have to operate as one. I think that we have to work together, but I don't see where we have to operate as one.
See, there's agreement.
But that's because we live, this is not Unigov here. So when Patrick talked about, East Chicago being part of Highland and, all that stuff. People in Munster want to be Munster, and Highland wants to be Highland, and Hammond wants to be Hammond, and East Chicago, and I will speak about East Chicago in a little bit. They all want to be the community that they are because that's why they're there. They love their communities, they support their communities, and they have the ability to elect their leaders. They don't want to just be in one Unigov where we have to decide. We do that enough with the county. Who's going to be a commissioner? Well, at least we get 3 choices. Who's going to be a councilman? At least we get a choice for every district. Who's going to be the assessor, the treasurer, the auditor? Those are things that we get to come together and elect that are one to govern our county. As far as your individual cities, people in Whiting have what they like. People in Crown Point elect who they want. That's not people for your community. You elect who you like. Mayor McDermott's doing a great job in Hammond. He got the data center over there at the former state line, energy conglomerate, and people like that. They had their march yesterday that they do every year in the cold, and people still come out and support that. Every community is different, and they offer something different, and that's why the people are there, because they like what they have. They don't want everything to be the same.
You just proved my point. And that, exactly. I mean, that's why we have 19 overlapping municipal taxing jurisdictions in Lake County. Because we all want ours. We all want ours. Don't bother me. Munster doesn't want Highland, and Highland doesn't want Griffith, and St. John wants its own island, and Gary wants what it wants, and Whiting doesn't want to be bothered. I mean, yes, you're right. That's exactly it.
But that's what
my
makes
point.
it attractive.
But it does make it attractive in a livability issue, but not for an economic development, massive projects. It just doesn't. You can't have little warring factions, or not even warring, little leave me alone factions, and then try to get together a big deal that is going to affect the entire area. That's my point. Now, I agree that, you understand it as everybody's kind of got their own thing, and let's just leave it that way. But that's how most people think. And that's not, my radio station covers every one of these communities. And I got to think about when we're going out tonight to do the game. Tonight we're doing Hammond Central's at Munster, and Sam Michael's doing the game. No, he's the referee. And Mike Heck, so let's see how good Sam Michael is tonight. If you watch the game on Heartland Sports Network, how good he is at being an objective ref. But anyways, I got to think about Hammond and Munster. And then I think we're also doing a Hanover Central game. We're doing a game out in Westville this week. We're doing the Porter County Tournament. So we're all in 3 counties all over the place with my sports network and with the radio station. So I got to think about, not Hammond, not Munster, where I live, or not Hammond, where I grew up, or not Highland, where I have relatives, or Crown Point, where I have a ton of relatives, or Lake Central. I got to think about it all together. And we have 2 factors rubbing against each other, that we are those people. Hey, leave me alone. We got my community. We got a bunch of elected officials, and we do our own thing. We got our own streets and sand. We got our own fire department. Leave us alone. But now we got to get together.
And they have mutual agreements that if there's a fire that one department cannot handle, that they will mutually aid another department, so that Highland does not have to worry about their firefighters not being there when they need them. But if Hammond next door needs a little help, they can help. That's what we do. We don't have to be the same, but we have to be there to help when needed. You
are exhibiting the attitude of about 75% of the Calumet region, if not more.
I mean, my biggest argument with Mayor Copeland was that Mayor Copeland is only focused on East Chicago. He doesn't care about anything else. He doesn't care about leaving his city. I love East Chicago, and that's where he stays. And I'm always like, hey, Mayor, you need to come out here. You need to do this. So that is what he does. But East Chicago is functioning well because his focus is only East Chicago. And he has great people, so great to the degree that Gary's been trying to take as many of them as possible. So whatever works for you, works for you. Hammond, look at Mayor McDermott has been elected how many times? Because people in Hammond like him, and they like what he's doing in Hammond. Gary's had a turnover of mayors because they haven't been able to find the one that was successful. And you mentioned a couple, but before, in your lifetime, it was Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher, Mayor Thomas Barnes, Mayor for a short time, Dozier Allen, Mayor Scott King before Dozier Allen, and then Rudy Clay. So, yeah, they've had a big turnover of mayors because they have not found the mayor that was able to move them to the next level. Now, granted, Hatcher was there a long time, but the others have only served 1 or 2 terms. And let's see how this one does.
Let's see how it goes. You are proving exactly what I'm saying. We just happen to disagree how important it is. But that is my fear, that we don't know how to act as winners, and we don't know how to act together. And that's us.
Even we know how to act as winners.
Stop.
We may not work together well as you would like to see, but I think we know how to be winners. And I think you can see that just in your sports teams. You talked about all the teams you cover, and you see how the fans come around those teams and support them. So, yeah, we know how to act as winners.
Hey, we will be right back. We're going to hit a bunch of other topics. We had to get that out of the way. That is a big topic right now. The Bears won, and now all this – I mean, the Bears lost. IU won. Now that is the big – what's going to happen now? And that decision's not going to be too far off from what I understand. And could we have the Indiana Bears?
No, it would still be the Chicago Bears.
Stop.
New York Jets, New York Giants, in New Jersey, still that team franchise is associated with New York.
A lot of great places to watch games. This is one of them.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
All right, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the Calumet region. I'm Jim Dedelow, host of Jed in the region, and that was supposed to play, but it didn't play. All right. Hey, no major traffic. I don't see much right now. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good to Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway, Toll Road. Dan Ryan's actually kind of tough right now. That's the only road coming up the Dan Ryan. It's actually pretty bad, but the Bishop Ford getting there isn't all that bad. In terms of the weather, yes, it's butt cold out. You already know that, as it is 3 degrees right now at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of, what do they call this? W Radio Center. On the campus of Radio Center. That's its official address with the post office. So behind Smith Chevrolet here, we've moved the radio station back. The sports guys are going to be moving somewhere else. The Heartland Sports tonight has Hammond Central at Munster High. You can watch that game. Sam Michael will not be on the call. He'll be on the floor as one of the referees. Mike Hackett going against a pretty good Hammond Central team. It should be a good watch. You don't have Bears, you don't have IU. Tonight's the night you turn on Heartland Sports Network for free and download that app on your TV or download it on your phone and watch the game. And we're going into the girls and boys tournaments. And if you'd like to sponsor it, get a hold of Sam at heartlandsportsnet.com, and he'll give you a little sectional package. It's about as good of a purchase as you can do to provide awareness to your business. So I do want to say a thank you to one major sponsor that has just stepped on with us on the Sports Network, and that is NIPSCO. Way to go, NIPSCO. They stepped forward. Thanks a lot to Alexis Barber and to Eric Kalinsky. It took a little while to get that done and get the message done, and you'll be hearing that NIPSCO spot on the game tonight, or watching it with all the rest of them. And so in terms of the weather, it is 2 degrees going up to a high of 20 today. Some real good sunshine, and that'll be nice. It'll just be a cold, brisk day. And then tomorrow, high of 30, maybe a little bit of snow here and there. And then by Thursday, sun comes out again and a high of 26. By Saturday, minus 11 overnight. Want to take some phone calls?
Of course.
Yeah, 219-845-1100. I did not take any phone calls. I kind of wanted to get Verley and I out of the, we needed to talk. And let's take a phone call now. Let's see. I have not had the, hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Hey, this Kevin, Verley, and Jill.
Hi, Kevin.
How
are you?
How you been, man?
Doing good. Hey, Miss, I got to correct you on Bears.
Okay, correct me.
Prince was the first one-term Bear in a long time.
Okay. So, as far as one-termers...
20 years. Hatcher was in there 20 years. Barnes did 8. Scott King did about 9.5. He resigned March 06. And Karen did 8. Rudy was in there a little longer than one term.
Kevin, can the region come together to do a major project like bring the Bears to Northwest Indiana?
I think it could. At first, I didn't think the Baltimore Colts was going to leave Baltimore and go to Indianapolis in 1984. But I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody else I know, I would tell my Uncle Lamar Taylor, like my brother Mike said, and I got to tell Gary bus drivers, when the Bears should have got a new stadium is when late Harold Washington was mayor. 6 days from now will be the 40-year anniversary of them winning the Super Bowl against New England in New Orleans. That was my classmates and I freshman year at Gary Westside High School.
Kevin is like one for knowing scores, dates, history. So, yeah, when I said some of them have served one term, yeah, I know Prince was the first, but I definitely was just trying to name the mayors that Jim had left off that he couldn't recall. So you believe that the Bears could come to Gary. What are your thoughts in that regard as a Gary resident?
The taxes is lower. I don't know where they would get the money from in Illinois, because I tell the people I work with in mine, the Bears got 7 years left on the lease at Soldier Field. I read in Chicago Sun-Times in 2033. They done bought that guy Kevin Ward in, so they better try to get something done. I don't know where the state of Illinois is going to get the money from.
You know, that's a good point. I mean, it could be kind of
They got all kind of money problems. From what I be reading, I do a lot of reading in newspaper. My brother and I, we go to the Griffith Library, Gary Public Library. That's what I had at Gary Carissa. I tell the people, I read a lot of newspapers and listen to a lot of radio. I don't know where they gonna get the money from in Illinois.
You know, Kevin, you bring up a great point because here we are talking about the Bears maybe coming to Indiana. Who knows how bad it is on the Illinois side? I mean, we see it every day. People moving over here, moving their businesses, moving from Illinois to buy a house here. I mean, who doesn't have an Illinois resident on their block right now? And nobody, because we are so much more attractive. This could be just the same thing on a bigger stage. And I agree, it could just be that bad over there. They can't get their act together, and they don't have the money to give the Bears. We can get our act together. Verley and I disagree on how we're going to do that, but we have the money. So
yeah,
it's starting to make sense.
But, Jim Dedelow, I tell everybody I talk to, before my brother's gone, one left. I remember summer, Gary, when it was going good with the A&P stores. My brothers worked at Tittle stores, the Milgram shoes when the village was full. But I told Natalie them on WLTH a few weeks ago. I tell the people I work with in Maryville, Eddie is trying to make Gary a more diverse city economically. The rest of them mayors, late modern day cats, I wasn't around yet, Hatcher, they was banking on that bill to be the savior, Gary. Nobody had a plan. I told my mother when she was living, what if the steel mills go down? How we going to create jobs? What is going to be plan B, C, and D? I tell the people I work with in Boston, Eddie ain't putting all his eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
He got that Lake County Convention Center coming, FedEx, Indiana Sugar moving to Burlington Harbor.
All right, man. Kevin, thanks for the phone call.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, I got one more thing to say, Jim Dedelow, early. You know who I wish had been around to see IU win the championship? He used to work with you. T-Dub.
Oh, T-Dub.
He was an IU alum, class of 81, he told me. That was the year they won one of the national championships in basketball with late Bobby Knight and Isaiah Thomas.
You know, that's so sad. You're right. I remember going to – we're talking about Tommy Williams.
March 27th.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks,
We got to move it.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, buddy. God, I hadn't even thought about him. Tommy Williams used to work here for quite some time and
worked at LTH as well.
Worked at
and
LTH.
He was an announcer at the Railcats Stadium.
Railcats.
Went out to Chicago and worked a short while out there as
very
well.
Very sad service, actually. At what was that place? I don't think it's on Taft. I can't remember the church. Tommy Williams. I mean, there's a lot of people to look at that are seeing the nirvana today of Indiana winning the national championship. Number one in my book is Don Fisher, whom I've gotten to know, and some of you have gotten to know through our many, interactions with him on WJOB. But think about it. We were carrying Don Fisher's first game in 1970-something. I think it was 74. He started. We carried, him. We've been carrying him all these years, and then you're getting to know him by our weekly interviews with him. I mean, I could not feel better about IU winning, namely for Don Fisher. But there's a lot of people that have this coming to them, and Tommy Williams would have certainly been one of them. God, that made me sad just thinking about him. I got Tommy Williams things from his funeral sitting in my top drawer, and every once in a while I'm looking for some socks, and then there's T-Dub, man, and I'm like, man, it just hurts. Hey, let's take a call. Let's see what Dave from Griffith is doing. Well, used to be from Griffith. He's not anymore. Dave, thanks for coming out to my uncle's funeral yesterday. I appreciate it.
Yeah, now living in Evanston these days, ironically enough.
Yes. All right.
Right over in northwestern Wildcat.
Yes.
Right over in northwestern Wildcat territory these days.
Cool. So did you root for IU yesterday?
I was kind of a begrudging thought that if they had to win, I only wanted them to win by 1 point.
Well, you almost got your thing. They won by 3. I don't think they covered the spread. What was the spread? Like 6 or something like that? So they didn't cover, but they did win.
By 6.
Yeah,
they about 6.
Yeah, I think that was the spread, right?
It's like I did not want them to win. I did not
yes,
want
they
them
won
to
by
win
6.
by a blowout by any means.
Yeah,
just because I'd be worried for the IU Hoosiers fan souls if they won by that much. I think they would lose all sense of humility and sin in the eyes of God.
Well, I mean, I was looking at Facebook today. I mean, there were a lot. I mean, Mark Cuban had a nice post. I mean, number of people from the region that went down there and spent $3,500 for a ticket and $1,000 to fly. I mean, you're spending some huge.
Way more than that.
What? Yeah, it was way. If you bought your ticket during the game, I talked to Aaron McDermott, and he said he bought his ticket during when IU went up and the Peach Bowl went up in the first quarter. He bought his ticket, and by the end of the game, it was much more than that. So, the only real way to do it reasonably economically was to drive down there. So a lot of people went down there. I even knew one dude who flew down there as private plane, but the region was well represented, and rightfully so. I mean, we're part of Indiana,
And yes, it's kind of crazy hearing about Tommy Williams. I haven't heard about him for a while. I remember about him working at your station, and I think which one of the stations did he work at up in Chicago? I think
he was on the No, he was on the Score.
I think he was on the Score in Chicago.
Yeah, he filled in and
WSCR.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't stay there long though.
Yeah, he would fill in once in a while. I'd be driving around and I'd click on the Score, and every once in a while Tommy would be. They knew that you could get a solid quality show out of Tommy Williams. Gosh, would he be loving this right now? Dave, it was good to see you yesterday. Thanks for calling, my friend. Talk to you. 219-845-1100. If you want to call, let's take one more. And then we'll take a short break after that. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
I just got to tell you, first and foremost, man, you're coming in crystal clear all the way in sunny Arizona. And first of all, my condolences to your family. Second of all, we lost another region great. I don't know if you're well aware of it. He didn't want nobody to know about it, but he was a good guy. I'm going to tell everybody that Dave the Baker Hacker.
Yes, Dave Hacker. I didn't want to talk about it until, God, remember when we were on the air and then his daughter would do the movies and they had the bakery over there on Holman Avenue? Oh, yeah, he.
Great time. We went. Hey, live. You guys went live from the bakery a couple of times. Yeah. What a great memory. What a great person. Region guy ran for the mayor position as well, and he loved to be called Dave the Naked Baker. What a Dave the Naked Donut Maker. That was it.
Yeah, remember? I think it came out of like a joke. I asked him, or
right, it did.
I was like, hey, when you're there by yourself, do you and you're there early in the morning? Do you walk around naked or something? I can't remember how it came about, but Dave Hacker passing away.
He was like a Chippendale. He was like a Chippendale dancer. And that's when you said, hey, do you walk around naked in a bakery? He goes, yeah, I'm Dave the Naked Donut Maker. But yeah, what a sad part of the region. And I tried to call you earlier, but because of time constraints, I had to punch in at work. But I wanted to call you and tell you how great the radio sounds. And getting back to the Bears, what I caught your earlier thing is, there's a lot of room in Gary for the Bears. There's a lot of real estate there. But you know what the biggest problem is, and you talked about just a lot of crime, but a lot of the street crime. But I really think, like Bertie said, believe me, I'm still a firm believer that Gary can make a comeback. And I think if the Bears would be great right over there by the baseball stadium where the rail cats are right across the tracks over there, make a little bridge over the tracks. But They'd be right on Lake Michigan, and nothing against Hammond, but I tell you what, the Bears could help bring a lot back. There's, like you said earlier, I'm a firm believer the region is a gold mine, and the problem is when we had the steel mills there, everybody worked there. This was the old thinking, and I'm right along with them. Work there, get your money, then get out of town. We got to get people to stay there. Keep the money there. Let's get people to stay there.
Thank you so much for your call.
All right, let's take a short break. Be right back on. Let's see. Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling from Arizona. And we'll be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Looking for a place to enjoy great food and great games? Head to Doc's Barbecue in Dyer. Indulge in Southern-style hickory smoked meats served in a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Want to catch the latest local Jet TV basketball games? Just ask and they'll have it on one of their 15 big-screen TVs. Whether you're here for the food, the fun, or the hoops, Doc's has something for everyone. Stop by Doc's Smokehouse on Calumet Avenue in Dyer, where flavor and sports come together.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region. I'm Jim Dedelow. I come in on Tuesdays and maybe a couple other days, and I host the morning show. And but for the most part, I want to thank all the other hosts that come in here with different perspectives and, you know, give us what they're thinking. But most of all, thanks to you for listening and for 102 years and watching for maybe the last decade. But if you do want to watch me, I'm on YouTube right now, and all you got to do is go there and type in WJOB 1230. Our sister company is kind of moving with us, but not really, from Purdue over here to the old building, and they are the Heartland Sports Network. Please download that app on your phone. You'll be able to watch all the upcoming basketball, girls and boys games, wrestling meet we did on over the weekend. I think we even have a swim meet coming up. Certainly we have the sportsmanship dinner. I mean, it's a full gathering of sports in the Calumet region, and you could go there and maybe there'll be 5 games on during a night, and you could just go from one to back to one. Jimmy Safransky, he's out at KV, one of the football coaches. He's the other half of one of my relatives, Sarah Dedelow, and he had the greatest idea, and I don't know why we don't do this. He's like, it kind of sucks going back and forth between games. Why don't you put one of those things where you have 4 games up there at the same time? I'm like, man, that's a lot of technology, but we're going to work for that. We may not have it done by the sectionals when we'll, be at 4 sites or 3 sites where you could see the different, games and just go from game to game, but we'll get there. I mean, that stuff is pretty expensive, but if you are a business, you're never going to get any better buys on that and your low CPMs than right now. So get a hold of Sam at heartlandsports.net, and you can get your TV commercial and your radio commercial on those games. Certainly, as kind of a bonus, you'll have your radio spots playing on the Purdue basketball, which is number 4 in the country right now. So there's just a lot of win there. I do want to talk about traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west. The biggest problem is on the Dan Ryan, up the Dan Ryan. It's really the only road in the entire Chicagoland area that's bad from 95th on in. In terms of the weather, yes, it's going to be cold, and it is going to be kind of up and down. But today, right now, it is 3 degrees, and it feels like -7, and it goes up to a high of 20. And then tomorrow, a high of 30, maybe a little bit of snow. Thursday, high of 26. But by Friday, a low of -10, and Saturday, a low of -12. So, and then that lasts into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, where you have bitter cold. So you got about 8 days or 9 days before it warms up next Thursday, over freezing. So we're going to not just stay below freezing, but well below freezing for well over a week. 219-845-1100 is the number, but as you well know, I did, my uncle Dwayne Dedelow Sr. was laid to rest yesterday. Had a lot of family in, and a lot of emotional times. But I am very honored to have gotten the white gloves and to be a pallbearer. Sat there next to Rich Linsman and my nephew Craig Dedelow and a whole bunch of other kind of ne'er-do-wells. Certainly Rich Linsman, the construction guy, is in the region ne'er-do-wells category. But I was honored, and just a lot of stories about my uncle Dwayne Dedelow Sr. Passed away at the age of 88 and lived a nice full life. A little bit bitter in some areas, and that, well, not bitter, but just sad, and that he's gone. His wife Connie, whom he married, and she died, I don't know, a decade ago. And then certainly when my uncle was laid to rest, the youngest of his 11 children, Luke Dedelow, not forgotten in any of our memories. Will Holloway, one of the guys that he's a filmmaker out of Connecticut, and he was in town, one of the cousins, and that was kind of cool to party with him for a little while and remember Luke. But Luke died at the age of 19 of leukemia, and that is just never a it brought up that. You know, Dwayne died, lived all the way to 88, and had been in declining health near the end. And, you know, at some point it's like, this is the next stage. But that wasn't the next stage for Luke. And, man, that just brings, people ask, well, so many of you have offered condolences to the family, and I appreciate that, and so does everybody else in the family. But it also brought up, gosh, the nobody talks about Luke ever, and then all of a sudden here we are talking about him around the tables and stuff, and it just brought up, was not an easy day, and maybe that contributed to why I left the bar at halftime to go home and watch the rest of the IU game. But another guy that I know passed away, and I was unable to go to his service because my uncle's was at the same time, but Dick Hemingway, he grew up in Hammond and always around here. He married the love of his life, Nancy, and had a bunch of kids. I hang out with Brad still. We grew up in the same neighborhood and have gone to the same grade school. He's a year older, and his little brother Larry was good, best buddies with my little brothers, and I knew the Hemingway family all the way, the entire length. Dick was just the kind of man that you want to be, just a simple. Not simple, I shouldn't say, but just a regular region guy who taught at Clark. Many of you that are listening right now are going, oh, Mr. Hemingway died. I did not know that. Mostly he was I think he was at Irving. So it says, let me look, Irving, Spohn, but he spent a lot of time at Clark. He retired there, I don't know, maybe 2000 or so. He was a counselor, coach, driver's ed instructor, bus driver, impacting generations of students over his tenure. Recognizing his many contributions to Hammond sports as an athlete, educator, and coach, Dick was inducted into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame in 2016. He's survived by Nancy, Mrs. Hemingway, his 2 siblings, Jay Hemingway and Kay O'Neill, and then 6 children. Here they are. And I'll leave out the spouses for now, but Brad Hemingway, Cheryl, Jarrett, Larry Hemingway, Tom Hemingway, Sandy Hemingway, and Patty Carmichael, as well as 14 grandchildren.
Wow, I know Brad, so condolences to the family.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's a sad time. Once again, nice long life lived and so forth, but I used to see Mr. Hemingway coming in with all the teachers over here at, what is that, right there, the Wheel, and all these old teachers get together, and it was always good to see him, but, yeah, he passed away, so a lot of kind of a little bit of grief going around, but we're past it, and then, we'll move on and talk about IU. We could talk about what's going on with the Bears possibly coming to the region, and I know Verley has an East Chicago topic that she wants to hit, but right now, are you okay?
Take the phone call.
Yeah,
sure.
Here we go. 219-845-1100. If you want to call in, don't forget to watch on Heartland Sports tonight. You don't have any sports to watch, please watch Hammond Central at Munster, and notice the referee. You guys wonder what Sam Michael looks like on the court. He'll be one of the main referees there. He's going to lead the crew. He will not be announcing. He'll actually be reffing that game, and I can't wait to watch it on TV just to make fun of all the calls he missed. How's that sound? But anyways, hey, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Jim, I just wanted to say I dropped off some donuts and a bagel outside your door there. And congratulations to all the IU fans.
Are you an IU fan?
I'll go check for you.
Mm-mm.
Well, my father was a big IU.
Rodents.
Just like
Your dad was a big IU guy. That's right.
He was a big IU guy, and so it made me pretty happy to see that. And like I said, I'm sure your old man's happy about it. It's pretty awesome for the area.
It really is. We're talking to Mike Hall, Hammond firefighter for a long time. And his dad, Harold Hall, was one of the biggest characters in the region's ever seen. But I forgot that he was a big IU fan. Wear that red and white very proudly. That had to be kind of an emotional moment to see them win, and your dad not, being there to see it. How'd you feel about it?
I just thought it was awesome. I got a few texts from family members just saying, man, if your dad could have seen this.
Yep.
So like I said, I know your family has some IU fans too, and I remember that from even being a kid, and it's awesome for all of them. So. Yeah,
they were all. I mean, I added it up just now. There were 12 relatives and 100, lots of friends over at 313 Tap Room, and it was just nuts. It was so nuts that my dad and I agreed to go back to my house and not be part of the celebration that we knew was coming. We don't want to be hypocritical, but we're deep Purdue fans, and we definitely wanted to see IU win, but there was a limit. Does that make sense? There's only so much there's only so much we could take, and we were rooting for them in my living room, and that was much better than being at the bar with all these jamokes jumping and kissing each other. It was a little much. But hey, man, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for the donuts and the bagel. Is there any cream cheese in there? Because I'm out of cream cheese here.
There is. There's some cream cheese in there.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for thinking about us.
Thank you. Hey. Do you have any? Hey, hold on a second, Hall. Hall, yeah. I'm just curious how you're going to handle this question. What do you think about the Bears? What do you think about the Bears possibly coming here?
I think it's awesome. Whether it's Hammond, Gary, anywhere in the region, it speaks volumes. I think that anything good for Gary is good for Hammond. Anything good for Hammond is good for Gary. And anything good for both of those is good for the region.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. That was pretty good. I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Well, don't be going out there and getting the donuts now.
Okay.
I rarely give you directions on anything.
All right.
We're talking.
Okay.
219. All right. Point over here again, will you?
That bottom one.
All right. 219-845-1100. I think we got a special guest coming up here in just a moment. Hey, you are on the air, and I'm guessing the next voice that you hear is going to be very happy. Hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Great
Mike.
To hear you all. Hey, Burley. How's my Hoosier fan?
Oh, just elated.
We're talking to Michael Suggs.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. Michael Suggs is one of the biggest IU fans in the Calumet region. During basketball, you can catch him pretty much during any game with his red and white pants on in his man cave. How you feeling right now, Suggs? Mr. Suggs.
This was really Suggs is certainly fine.
Yeah.
This was really just a lot of fun. When you see a team come together, they play hard, they play smart, and they represent each other. I couldn't ask for more as a former athlete.
Who'd you watch the game with? And who stayed at your house?
I watched it with one. I've got a buddy from IU that went there with me 50 years ago. And we sat and watched the game and talked about, the days when we were down there 50 years ago and we watched the basketball team go undefeated.
You know what? It's been a 50-year drought since you, as an IU fan, have had that kind of ecstasy. No, wait, 1987 too, right? Yeah. There was.
There were a couple.
Yeah, there were a couple national championships. But from a football standpoint, I've been to IU football games. I mean, before I got kicked out of there in early 1980s, I went to games, and sometimes it was a third full. And, they would show it on national TV, and it looked like it was nobody there. Remember the time when I got 50 tickets a game for all those years? I remember one time you took a bunch of young kids down there on those tickets. It was an easy. Now it might be the toughest college football ticket in America. I mean,
isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. But how are you feeling about it? Share that with us, man.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it to be able to experience a football team that just really never could get over the hump. They couldn't get the athletes. They didn't have the investment of the university. To have an opportunity to see a team decide to do it right and find a coach who's an amazing coach. I mean, he's just no nonsense. He knows the game. He has.
I have to apologize to you, Mike.
Connection to university. Oh my dear.
Well, no, Mike loves the coach. He loves the team, and he wanted that jacket that the coach wears. I ordered it for him. It was supposed to be there in time for the game. And they sent me an email and said, sorry, we had so many orders, we couldn't fulfill them. And so it's going to come. He just didn't have it in time for the game so he could be dressed like the coach. So no red striped pants. He wanted the coach's jacket.
Mike, do you know how to stand there with the back of your hand on your hips? I mean, are you working on that too? You're going to put the Signetti shuffle on?
That's a little bit not me. It looks good on him, but I don't know. Jim, why don't you try it now? I'll rate you out on it. Let you know how
so Jim had a question about you, whether or not you rooted for Purdue when they were going for a championship.
I most certainly did. But you know what? I'm similar to what you said with you and your dad. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to jinx them. And I normally pull for the other team, so but I did. I wanted to see the Big Ten win. Whenever it's in tournament time, I'm going all Big Ten. That makes sense?
It does make sense. And my dad and I didn't want to be hypocrites about it because he would come over, and if IU was playing basketball, honestly, and they're playing Wisconsin or Minnesota or especially inside the Big Ten, we're rooting for the other team. You know what I mean? So I don't want to sit there and put an IU shirt on and go to the family bar and be hypocritical about it. It wasn't going to work.
There's no way you weren't pulling for Miami, though. Tell me.
No, I was not pulling for Miami.
Okay.
I have no loyalties there. We were definitely rooting for IU, and we wanted to see it. But I'll be honest with you, Mike. I knew all my brothers lives on the campus just about, and all of their whole entourage was over at the family town bar. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to handle this. Munster's basketball coach is there, and all these people that I've known for generations. And I'm like, I'm just not. I don't want to be the party pooper after they win that goes, hey, that was kind of nice. What's for dinner? You know what I mean? So I handled it like a lot of Purdue people did.
There you go.
Hey, Mike, your general comments on the Bears coming here.
It's just amazing to have Northwest Indiana considered to be an economic and resource location that people are considering. And no matter where it is, it's just great to have someone seriously think about the opportunities that we have in this community. And I'm just so proud of the greater Gary area, the greater Northwest Indiana area, of presenting themselves in a way that folks say, you know what, this might be worth an investment. My wife knows how beautiful Gary is. We moved from Maryville after 30 years to her dream home, my dream home, and I would love to share it with the world.
You said something right there at the beginning that I fully agree with, and that, hopefully they'll come. But even if they don't, it's like, hey, you know what? Nippon's coming. BP's already here. All these data centers, Microsoft, Google. I mean, we're winning the game. I don't know if that's really set in with the region. Do you think so?
I certainly hope so. I hope we don't trip over ourselves like we have occasionally in the past, where we'd rather see you not have it than all of us benefit for it. We're in an environment now where our schools need it, our roads need it. We need the investment in our communities to make it where we want, the places where we want to love, work, and live. And I'm just happy to be in a community that is being considered, a region that is being considered. I have friends and families from all over the country, and they're pulling for us, and so am I.
He's Michael Suggs. One of the reflections on an administration or on a leader is who he puts next to him. And when I saw that Mayor Eddie Melton put Michael Suggs on that team, it made me look again. Honestly, I've gone through a number of mayors in Gary, and putting you with a quiet, hey, how you doing, behind the scenes, is the velvet hammer. And I can't, I have a lot of confidence that Mayor Melton, who you will always give all the credit to and not take any, but I'm glad to see you on that team, Michael Suggs.
Jim, it's just an honor to be a part of Mayor Melton, his vision. He's such an amazing leader, a really authentic man, a genuine man that I certainly would go to battle with. I feel fortunate after giving 40 years at a Fortune 500 and feel that they got me ready for this opportunity to support the city that we love, Gary, Indiana. So, yes, this is a great opportunity for us. Mayor Melton is an amazing leader, amazing communicator, and he builds relationships no matter where he goes. And he's the type of person we all should be proud of.
Hey, Mike, I love what you said. He builds relationships, because that's truly Mayor Eddie Melton. He is one for building relationships wherever he goes, all over the world. So thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Sorry I didn't blow this morning when I drove by to let you know I was safe. I'll talk to you later.
That's okay. You have a great day. You guys do an amazing job. I'm so proud of you.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike, for calling in. All right, guys, let's take a short break. Adriana Alvarez is here. I need to change the seating here. If you guys haven't noticed, we're going to try to kind of move into a little bit more often breaks, but shorter breaks. So we'll be right back.
And real quick, Michael Hall, thank you so much for the donuts. And I figure I better get them before they froze out there. So.
All right, cool. I'm going to put one of those together. Adriana's going to do the weather while I put together a donut and that kind of. I'm going to put together a bagel and some cream cheese, and it's all courtesy of the Hammond firefighters, and we appreciate that. We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region. What did you say, Kubik?
Tell the folks where they can find the French Room.
Fridays, 3 to 5 Central.
And where can they listen?
On WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM.
I believe those are the radio people.
Who the hell's that?
I have no idea. But you could listen worldwide on TuneIn.com or watch on JetTV.com.
Get your Jet TV. The Front Room.
With Marla Kubik.
Variety,
sometimes at its finest.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 7:40 a.m. You are listening to The Morning Show on WJOB, 1230 a.m., 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live here on YouTube. We're going to do a quick weather update. Let me clear everything else so you guys are able to see. So currently right now at the Track and Van Til Studios, it is 4 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 23 and lows of 19. Tonight, you're going to see some cloudy weather turning breezy with late periods of snow accumulating to an inch or two. Watch out for those slippery spots. As we move forward, Wednesday, highs of 31 degrees and lows of 15 degrees. Breezy morning flurries, a cold flurry in the evening. Thursday, you're going to stay within those 20-degree weather. 21 is a high, -6 is the low. Areas of low clouds colder, and a bit of evening snow with some frigid cold. I think when Jim comes back, he wants to do weather.
You just did.
Not weather,
Why
I'm sorry,
did you do
traffic.
no, you go ahead and do it.
Oh, man.
Oh, you don't want to do traffic?
Not really, but
okay.
I guess I'll do it.
You do it so well,
do it.
Adriana. You've learned all these highways and byways, and you do an excellent job.
Well, thank you. So we're going to take a look at our traffic for today. Traffic in the Northwest region. We do have an accident on the left lane blocked on I-65 North before I-80, I-94, US 6, exit 259. So that's causing a little bit of traffic right there. Be sure to keep that in mind. But other than that, at that spot over there, 80 going east of west is good. You're still, like we said, that traffic right there on 65 North.
So 65 North, where is that? Because I have a meeting at 8:30.
Oh, right there by Ridge Road and East 61st Avenue.
Okay. Right where I have to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you see right there.
See, that's why I needed you to do the traffic. Jim would have looked and said, "Oh, everything's great," and moved on.
We're all fine here in the region. 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. Other than that, Chicago Skyways are looking good. We do got an accident, left lane blocked, Bishop Ford, I-94 east before Cottage Grove Road. That was at 7:37. So you're going to have a little bit of traffic right there at the connector, as well as another accident a bit earlier in the Bishop Ford I-94 west before Steel Bridge. So on that Bishop Ford, you're going to have a lot of traffic starting to pile up as we head that way. See that the Eisenhower Expressway going east and west is just bad all the way through, and that is due to an earlier accident that is east before US 12, exit 17. And Stevenson Expressway going north is heavy in traffic all the way through. Going south, not too much. And then 94 going east and west up by the city area, headed towards the airports. You have a little bit of traffic, but that's just your morning traffic. Started up for this beautiful Tuesday morning. So that is all for your traffic and weather.
And then we're going to, expect more snow coming up?
I guess so.
Oh, goodness.
I will say that I was not expecting this much snow, at least. Driving from Sunday into Monday, it was real slippery throughout around, at least here in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So when driving, I was like, okay, 10 and 2, let's go.
Right, 10 and 2.
10 and 2. If we're going 15 miles an hour, it's okay, as long as we make it to our destination safe.
Well, we're glad you made it here safely.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, there we go. I didn't know which mic you had also. One of those. There we go.
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. She's Adriana Alvarez. And I told her I would handle it till 7:30. And then, so she normally comes in at 7.
Right.
And I said, part of it is I don't really like getting out of my chair right there and sitting over here.
I mean, it's a much more
right.
comfortable chair. I mean, you got that nice thick cushion over there.
Can I go over here? So
well,
yes,
do you want me? I can move over.
Yeah, why don't you? No, stay where you're at. You're all set up.
No.
So there you go.
I don't need the laptop. I'm fine. I can't even get on your Wi-Fi yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Do you not have the Wi-Fi password?
No, we got new
I'll get it from
Wi-Fi.
you
I got
later,
all
yeah.
new internet put in here on Friday afternoon. I didn't tell anybody about it.
Oh, I looked right away. I was like, I need to do work on my laptop, not on these computers.
Yeah, so it's hey everybody, we have successfully moved over here to a building that was built in the 50s. We knew we were coming back all the way, but one of the initiatives is that Verly, you could see we're building that TV studio out there.
Right, I see you need to bring like Service Pro or somebody in here just to get a custodial cleaning service.
Yeah,
instead of counting on your interns and employees to clean this place. It's a little too much.
We want to finish the studio build. So we're kind of in a construction site, and then we're going to give it a deep scour.
Great.
But you saw that we just painted the ground black. I didn't know that's what studios have, a black floor to keep stuff going. But part of the other thing is that Adriana Alvarez, amongst her many other duties, is building a podcast network, and we have a number of podcasts, and we will be putting shortly a third studio in just for podcasts. But if you want a podcast,
you should do the epoxy floors. I know they're very expensive, but they're worthwhile.
No, believe me, we they're talking about it. The thing is that it's all concrete anymore. Nobody does concrete because it's so expensive. So I don't want to cover the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob Ellis, who's helping us, believes in that also. But I don't know if you've ever seen the Cedar Closet studio with soundproofing and stuff. That's going to be, one of Adriana's podcast studios. But they used to have 5 radio stations out of here at one time. And it turns out that those exact little studios are perfect for podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can, who knows where it's going to go.
Right, because you don't need a host or anybody. A podcaster can just go in and do their show. You can have multiple shows going on at the same time.
And a lot of our podcasts are not video.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are just audio. So that works out well.
And
Definitely.
I'll be recording one this afternoon, and I do that. Sam Michael it's not a podcast, and it should be, but he will be on the air, or he will record a segment with Don Fisher this morning after the national championship, and that'll be on Facebook. And Adriana, I promised everybody that I'd get the audio of that, and we'd put it on the air every hour or so here on WJOB. And then I'll be on this afternoon with a new podcast that Adriana has set up, and that is The Cow Guy. And I do a podcast today.
I will say I was editing. I still have to edit the last one so that way we can drop it. But listening to his podcast, if you guys have not listened to it, it is a very amazing story that he has and how he goes into death. And I think you might know exactly which one I'm talking about. I'm editing because I want to listen, see what descriptions and titles we can come up with. He's about to make me cry when he was talking about his wife and everything. And I'm like, I don't really tear up with just like the storytelling of this, but oh my goodness, like the way that the story just kind of flowed and everything. I was like, this is really good.
So you probably don't have to do a whole lot of editing.
No, there was barely any.
Yeah.
You know, part of that is that, Will Glaros and I do a podcast called Limb Walkers. It's about leadership and risk.
I've listened.
But the cow guy has lived an amazing life, but a lot of tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's kind of like, how do you bounce back from tragedy? You know what I mean?
And it gives you a different perspective on him because, he's an economic guy. He talks about, I listened to him and yourself during the COVID crisis, and there was a lot of back and forth with you and he. But this is totally different.
It is we don't argue like we used to, although we do off the air.
I was going to say, I did put in one of the little segments before you guys started on one of them. He's like, hurry. You're like, hurry up. No, he was telling you, hurry up. He's like, I'm thinking. I'm like, you guys are like an old married couple.
Well,
That's how they were.
We know each other well,
before.
and we're both from the floor of the Board of Trade. But it's actually personally satisfying in that I know him through the depths of his despair, and pulling through it. He lived in Portage. He married a girl from Hegwish, coming off the Board of Trade, and it was really tough to watch. And you're hoping, gosh, I hope he pulls through, and he has pulled through, and he wants to share that with people. This is what I got to do. Well, I think our next podcast is going to be the Verley Suggs podcast.
You keep telling her,
Not
but
at all. But let's move on. Hey, real quick shout out to East Chicago. I definitely.
Look
So
at
yesterday
this.
was the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. Thank you, Katie Hall and President Reagan, for putting that into reality. But City of East Chicago, I have to send a shout out to them and to Benita White Arnold, who is the new president of the East Chicago branch of the NAACP. Their branch had actually folded, and she and a group of other strong leaders came together and got their charter back, and they had their first event yesterday. And when she went to the Dynasty to book it, she thought she might have 100, 150 people show up. Yesterday, there were close to 500 people in attendance at their Martin Luther King Back in Action, Fierce Urgency of Now luncheon. Phenomenal. She gave a phenomenal speech. The award winners, there were a bunch of them that received awards, including our Congressman Frank Mervan, Senator Randolph, and many, many others. But David Pastrick walked in. He's our Lake County coroner. And he said, wow, I haven't seen anything like this in East Chicago in ages. And that's how everybody was feeling, like, wow, this is like the old times in East Chicago where they had an event and the walls were packed. And that's how it was yesterday. Of course, all the people running for office, shout out to all of them. There's so many out there. And, of course, filings haven't closed, so we'll wait.
How many people could run for sheriff, by the way?
Well, I saw at least two of them that were running, and that was Jerry Williams and Jenkins. But I know others were there. I know Flores had an ad, and I didn't see him, but he might have been there. And then this other guy who McDermott is supporting,
Gore.
He's
everywhere. He had to be there.
I think he was there. He might have been there, but of course, former Sheriff Roy Dominguez was there with State Police Jerry Williams, who's running.
You almost lost his name.
No, I didn't lose his name. I had to be careful how I say things. But, yeah, it was a great event. There were so many people because I've left East Chicago. It was so many reunions that I had there, Mike, and I took my 91-year-old mom. And just shout out to Catherine Hill Thomas, who's also running for office, who I was her guest. It was just great. Great event.
How many people did you hug?
My husband would say that every old boyfriend and Verley admirer stopped by to kiss the cheek. So I can't tell you how many people I hugged and kissed, but it could have been 100. It could have been 100.
Thanks for not asking me to come. After about 20 hugs, I'd be like, I'm leaving, man. I'm not hugging another dude who smells like Aqua Velva.
Hey,
not doing it.
500 people, close to 500 people, and pretty much everyone there I knew. It was Lots of hugs and kisses. It was great to see everybody, and it was a great event.
I have a specific topic I want to hit with you before you leave, and Verley's got to get going. But let's take a couple phone calls. Adriana, could we take this one here? I'll take one at least, and then we will. I want to hit something before you take off. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
I am.
Yes, you are on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, on your live chat on YouTube, everybody's saying on there, Trucker Mike's been on hold for 2 hours. No, Trucker Mike slept in because I was busy trying to watch the game, but I was busy. I had a meeting. As soon as I got done testing students, I had a meeting with 3 trucking companies in Northwest Indiana. This week or next week, I have 3 more meetings with trucking companies in Northwest Indiana with the drivers and the owners of getting ready to. So when this primary is up, we're seeing what to do, what people want to hear or see, you know. So I recorded all 3 of these yesterday. So last night up until God knows how I was recording and writing down and doing the report on it. And I guess we're going to have all 6 companies on a Saturday meet together and get all, because most of the drivers, the companies that I'm going to in Northwest Indiana, the drivers are home on the weekend, so we're going to try to get it to where all 6 companies meet on a Saturday, and all the drivers meet at one place, but we're trying to figure out where to do it. Because we're going to have a lot of drivers.
So are you organizing, or what are you doing?
Yeah, you know, I've been around here driving a truck 44 years, hauling steel, and all these steel trucking companies in Northwest Indiana know me. And everywhere I go, they talk to me. And I'm listening to what the people want, not what they want to hear that the politicians are going to do in this primary. They want to know what they're going to do, not what they say. So we're getting this all together, and then we're waiting until the last day that they file for the primary. So that way you can have the list made up of who's running and what running, and we're going to see which way the drivers for all 6 of these companies feel it's the best way to choose their vote so that these candidates running, you know, because a lot of boy, did I hear a lot of negative remarks about this area, you know, that need to be improved with the politicians because they're in office and they're not doing what they say. You know, it's a shame. But I wasn't on hold for 2 hours.
Hey, Mike. Keep us updated on that. I mean, I think with the truck drivers in the Northwest Indiana region have a lot to say. It's certainly some.
Yeah.
I'm sure some.
Yeah,
go ahead. Get it out.
Can I ask Verley one?
Yeah.
Okay, Verley, I'm doing a survey on 10 restaurants in this area. I only got 3 more to go. I don't want to. Miller is Miller. It's not Gary.
Is
there
Gary.
a restaurant? Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, it's Gary. You know, but the thing is Gary is 5th and Broadway, and Broadway all the way up, and Gary is Gary. That's Gary. Is there a sit-down family restaurant in Gary, Indiana? Not Miller.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
I would say Jay's Breakfast
I went to
Club.
Jay's the other day for breakfast. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, Jay's Breakfast Club right
Where's
on Broadway.
that?
Broadway and 25th.
Where's that?
26, right between 8094 and 25th Avenue.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, I'll have to look that up because I got 3 more restaurants to do, and then I got that survey to finish up. You know,
Mike, text me if you're going out there. Text me if you're going to go to Jay's. I love that place. All right, man.
Yeah,
we got to move on. We got to move on.
every-
Thank you.
Okay.
Text me if that's coming up. Verley, Adriana, and Starkey were on Friday.
Great job.
And
so many people loved us.
Well, I kind of glanced on the camera and I said, "Oh, who's that beautiful woman he
Oh,
has in the
thank you.
studio with him?" I'm like, "Oh, that's our sweet little Adriana."
Yeah, we're gonna be back on this Friday as well, and we got to think of a show name.
It was great. It was a great show.
A lot of people were very negative about.
It figures, but I mean, I thought it was wonderful. I loved hearing about his son. I think he said Liam was his name. See, that even stuck with me. I don't even know this guy, but I know his son's name. So yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
So here's the thing: when I was 22 years old, Colby, John Baranowski was the afternoon house, and he got sick or something. And he's like, I was sitting out in the newsroom right 20 feet from where we are right now. He's like, hey, you better go in there and do the show. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, he ain't here. We got to have somebody doing it. You're the only one here. Go. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. You know, I'm a kind of BSer my whole life. Hey, can you do this? Absolutely, pal. Don't worry about it, right? So I come in here and I do it, and Regina D. Biddings was the producer.
Muro now.
Yeah, Muro now, sorry.
Right, we were all at her reception together.
Yes. So I do the first half hour. It was awful. I do the second half hour. It was even worse. And I come out right down on the hall there, and Colby and Mrs. Grambo are sitting there. And they go, wow, we're just gonna play music, and I'm like, okay. And then I turned and I go, no, I got this. And he go, well, and they looked at each other and they said, well, whatever. All right, one more, that's it. And then if the next break, you know, we're just gonna play music, and hopefully Baranowski's feels okay tomorrow. So I came back. And I said, I got this. And I said that to Regina. And I go, Regina, I got this. And we're going to do this. And blah, blah, blah. You know, I put it out. And then I called my dad. And I said, Dad, call my show. And so my dad called the show. And that was my first call. And then other people called. I think I asked something stupid like, you know, I was dating a girl. I go, it's her birthday tomorrow. What do I get her? And people were calling in perfume, get her flowers, get chocolate. I mean, it was kind of a bit that we did. And from that moment on, and then Baranowski was ill for a while, and I hosted the afternoon show off and on for a while. But after a couple months, we started getting tons of complaints from longtime listeners and longtime callers about why do you have a 22-year-old person in there hosting the afternoon show. So what you went through yesterday and the calls that Chuck Pullen fielded, that is not new.
Oh, yeah, no. I know that. If anything, that's just motivation.
Good. I'm glad that you took it.
Yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't listen yesterday.
It was kind of interesting hearing the feedback from our longtime listeners and seeing the comments and the nitpicks of every little thing that you do.
Yeah, I know
Doesn't
you
matter.
like to read those comments, but really, I think they're kind of juvenile.
This was on the air they were calling in too, and
it kind of makes me laugh because then also it's the one thing you're gonna get those individuals regardless of what you do. You could say one thing, you could say another thing. Doesn't matter. They're never gonna be satisfied.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's whatever the host is talking about, the content they decide to put out there, and what topics they want to present.
Just be authentically you. And that's what I would say. And just like Jim, he talked about how he was in the question he asked. That's Jim today. Mm-hmm. He hasn't really changed much. This is what is endearing about him to the listeners, even though they want to call in and bash him and complain. But they tune in. They're like addicted. Mm-hmm. So some people, it's better for them just to get it out over the airways to vent rather than to go home and do something stupid.
I say that the haters are the biggest.
The
the haters are the biggest admirers.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I think it's slightly different, and I appreciate you that compliment. I'm not. It's actually a direct compliment. It wasn't a backhanded.
You don't know how to take compliments. You're just like
I don't know. Okay. I don't take them well. I get that. It's a little different right now, in that I think the 102-year tradition, and Colby. You know, I was getting really down when people were complaining about having a 22-year-old person. Colby's like, come here. I put you on the air. That's all that matters here. And I was like, okay, well, you put me on. You'll pull me off. And the whole time I was here, I hosted shows. And there was a period where there was a lot of backlash against having a 22-year-old person on there. And then it went away. But it's a little bit different because the 102-year tradition is really Colby's tradition, and that is, let people talk, let people have their opinion, and they'll be crazy opinions sometimes, and he's like, you have to respect every one of them, and that is what carries on, because people want to talk, they want to be heard.
That's what it is.
But I think now it's kind of weird because I think that people with so many different angles they can go to, they can go and listen to us with everybody's opinion, and then they'll go into their own world of total Fox or total MSNBC, or they'll just listen to Levin at night, or they'll just listen to Rachel Maddow's podcast. And it becomes a little bit harder to do that. Does that make sense to you?
It makes a whole lot of sense, but that's why it's important that you do what you do, where people feel comfortable calling regardless to their opinion. Where in those other stations where it's just one slant, you don't feel comfortable with an opposing view. Because if you call like the Sean guy, and I'm not talking about Hannity, he's going to curse you out and call you an idiot. Where here, they may be home calling somebody an idiot, but that's not stopping you from calling. And that's what I love about being here. I got to run because I am the chairman of this committee meeting. But I love it. I love what Adriana is doing. I love what you've given her the ability to do. I know when I went to LTH, and I told this story before, after my first day on the show, Robert Banks calls me that night and he says, "Hey, Verly," and Gloria Lynn was one of the orchestrators. They hate you. They really just hate you. And I'm like, okay. He says, "So what are you going to do tomorrow morning?" I said, "I'll see you in the morning." So that's just how you do. You know, you don't let the haters keep you from doing what you know is right. And like the people who don't call because I'm here or because you're on the air or something like that, those are the people who call shows where they think they can impress people. You can't impress me. So that's why they don't bother to call, because I'm not impressed by you. And if you need validation, you need someone to validate you, well, I'm sorry. Share your opinion. I'll share mine. We'll either agree or disagree, but you have the ability to do it right here on WJLB. Thank you, Jim, for what you do. Thank you, Adriana, for what you do. I got to get out of here.
Let's take a short break. Adriana and I are going to go another segment. If you've got any thoughts on the Bears, you got any thoughts on what's going on a national scene, or if you just want to relish in the celebration of the IU National Football Championship undefeated season. I can't believe I'm saying that. 219-845-1100. We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
That was a really short break. I was expecting it to be a little bit longer, but that is all right. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 8:05 a.m. You're listening to The Morning Show on WJLB, 1230 a.m., 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, here at the Shack and Van Til Studios. And you're also watching live on YouTube. So we're going to do a quick weather update. Let's see here. Currently right now at the Shack and Van Til Studios, it is still a very, very toasty 4 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 23 degrees, lows of 19 degrees, cloudy, turning breezy late with periods of snow accumulating in an inch or two. Watch out for those slippery spots tonight. Moving forward on Wednesday, highs of 31 degrees and lows of 15 degrees. Breezy morning flurries, and then you're going to have a little bit of flurries in the evening. Thursday we're looking at a high of 21 degrees and a low of -6. So we're going to have some areas of low clouds and colder weather with a bit of evening snow. And that is going to continue on. And I will say, for all those people that are outside working, whether you are in construction, you're working at the refineries, or if you're just part of your job is just being outside for long periods of time, please bundle up because wow, these temperatures are not looking good. As we see Friday, high of 1 degrees. We just get one. We don't get too many. But I'm gonna wait for Jim to actually wait. No, we could do traffic right now because we do have our community programmings coming and filtering in. So let's see here. We do got a bit of traffic. So that accident that was over there on 65 North, the earlier accident before I-80-94, that did not create as much traffic as expected. It's still going to be a little bit of traffic, but not too much, not as much as we were expecting. So 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. We see that the Chicago Skyways is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good as well. We have the accident on the left lane that is on the Bishop Ford I-94 east before Cottage Grove Road is starting to clear up just a little bit. I started traffic because there's a lot of accidents at the moment in time here. And also that earlier accident on the Bishop Ford I-94 west before I-57 exit 63. Have a little bit of traffic right there at the connector as well. We're seeing that Eisenhower going east and west is heavy in traffic all the way through. We're not really seeing any clear up on there. Stevenson going north is heavy in traffic. Going south, not too much. And then 94 going east and west up by the city is looking a bit heavier in traffic right there by the airports.
219-845-1100 if you got anything on your mind. The town of Munster's out there waiting. Dave Nellums and Fire Chief and Mr. Hajduk. But until then, I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
What would you like to talk about?
I don't have anything planned whatsoever. I'm putting my bagel together. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I will, as I know you guys were talking about earlier this morning as I was listening in, because I always try to get up around 6 o'clock to make sure that you do get on YouTube. And if not, then, and you're like, we're not on YouTube, I'm like, okay, I'll fix it. Just keep talking and it'll get fixed. We were talking about the Bears, of course, moving to Northwest Indiana. Were you watching the game or were you just watching the statistics?
What do you mean? Like,
were you just watching the score or were you actually actively watching the game? Because I know last time you were like, I can't watch this.
You know what? I watched the whole Bears game and most of the IU game, and part of it was...
Were they playing at the same time? No, right?
No, Bears were the first night, and then the IU was the second night. But I know I said that that's how I did the last Bears game. But I watched it all the way through, and, man, that was just so nerve-wracking, and I don't even know what to say. But
it was funny. I saw Peter at me and my friends. We all went to the bars, and I saw Peter. I was like, wait a minute, I know you.
Oh, he was out too?
Yeah, everybody was out. I know Rob Aguirre, he was at the game.
Yeah.
And everything. Everybody was either, we were all at the sports bars, we were at somebody's house, or you were actually there live at the games. And it was kind of, I will say, I'm never one to be a big sports fan to watch it on the screen. I like to be there. I like to be present. So when baseball season comes, I'll watch it on TV, but it's better to actually be there present. For some reason, just going out to, just being there with all friends and everything, it's a great time, but I will say those moments when they did hit touchdowns and everybody was so happy, that those are like some like really good moments where you just kind of want to freeze those in time.
People high-fiving and hugging and screaming.
Oh yeah, and it was also like really interesting. We're playing the Rams, yet they were just like, yeah, to Green Bay. Forget you, Green Bay. Stuff you can't really say on the air, but I'm just like, guys, we are not playing them right now, but okay.
Didn't matter.
As soon as we won against them, it was okay.
As soon as we beat Green Bay, I kind of thought that there would be a letdown, and you could see that, like when Purdue basketball is playing somebody else, they do a cheer, and they might be playing Minnesota. They do the cheer, and then they go, at the end of the cheer, they go, blank IU. And they're not even playing IU. And then the same thing about the Packers. And I felt that. I go, man, that was like two of the best wins. Remember, we beat them in the regular season and beat them in the playoffs. And by the way, I got to mention this. As you know, my uncle's service was yesterday, and Bobby Costa, thanks a lot to Bobby Costa coming. Bobby calls in, and she's just an obnoxious Packers fan. You know what I mean? It's just kind of hard to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her yesterday, and she was very not humble about it. Well, we beat you all these times and this and that. Typical Packer fan kind of stuff. But I agree. That was so. Which bar did you watch it at?
Growlers, right there in Highland. We didn't want to go too far because at first, what we wanted to do was we wanted to go to, I think it's like DraftKings in Chicago over there in Wrigleyville where they got the real big screens all around the bar. We wanted to do that at first, but we figured with a game like this that we won't get in anywhere. Reservations nowhere. We were actually supposed to go to our bar at first, and I did the mistake. I let the guys plan it. That was the biggest mistake because they're like, yeah, we were just going to walk in. I was like, let me call them. And I asked them, do you guys have reservations for any tables? They're like, no, we are fully booked up and we are not taking any walk-ins. I go to them. I'm like, so guys, what's your next plan? what are you doing? They're like, we thought we can just walk in. I'm like, for a game like this, there's no way. Call both locations, nothing. They're like, all right, old reliable. We're going to just go back to where we were last time. But it was really funny because kickoff was at 5:30. I was like, okay, I'll be there at this time. Well, me and my other girlfriend, we were getting ready. I'm going to be late. But I already knew that. I have them blowing up my phone. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Because apparently when I watch the game, they do well. And they didn't believe me until we were watching the Packers game. They're just like, you gotta sit here and watch the game like each time. I get there a little bit before first quarter ends. And my friends are just like letting us down. They were so mad. I'm just like, oh, I love you guys too. They're so upset.
But why were you late?
Because me and my one friend, she was still like getting ready. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to just leave you.
So it wasn't you getting ready. It was your friend getting ready.
But I was just like, okay, that's fine. It's okay. I was watching it on my phone, though. I was like, I'm still watching the game. Like, I'm still actively present, guys. But I will say it makes me excited for the fact that I feel they brought hope back into Chicago for football. The Bears, at least this season.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read Sam Michael's text? We're talking about IU and Purdue just always hating on IU. It was difficult. I mean, I did it yesterday, and my dad and I watched the game together, and it was a nice moment together. Mm-hmm. But I think Sam's got a point in that there's a little bit of an inferiority complex there from Purdue. Purdue was number 18 in the Big Ten, and IU was number 1 in the country. And it's just really hard to take.
And with my family, it's funny because we are split Purdue and IU because we have some people that have either done a few semesters at Purdue or that they've done a few semesters at IU. Of course, with my cousin, both my cousins actually graduating from IU, and then me over here at Purdue. We're just like, yeah, okay, go guys. We won't cheer that loud, but we'll cheer for you.
I think that was the case of a lot of Purdue fans. It's like, yes, I want you to win, but I'm like, I just can't over. Can you take Sam's call? He says he's calling in.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Let's take Sam Michael. I can't believe he's calling a show.
Good morning, Sam. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just great. How are you guys?
What do you mean?
You sound like a pocket full of sunshine there, my guy.
Sam Michael, what do you mean by inferiority complex?
Well, I think I can describe it best this way. When Mac used to do his show, he would talk about Bears-Packers rivalry. And this isn't as true for Indiana and Purdue, at least in, basketball. And even in football, Purdue's probably dominated the rivalry. I haven't looked at the numbers. I'm guessing they have, since everybody beat the crap out of Indiana until starting 2 years ago. But there's no such thing as a rivalry between the hammer and the nail, that the hammer hates, or the nail hates the hammer, but it can't do anything about it. So that's Bears-Packers in my world. Maybe that'll change, but that's been Bears-Packers until at least about a week and a half ago. So to me, that's the inferiority complex of the two rivalries, not head-to-head IU-Purdue, but the idea that when you go to Assembly Hall, you have to stare at 5 banners, and they'll probably put one up for the basketball team in the other end zone. And then when you go to Mackey, even as much success as they've had, this is the golden era of Purdue basketball, and unfortunately, there's nothing to show for it.
God, did he have to get up and call? Are you interviewing Don Fisher soon?
No, he's traveling too much. We couldn't make it work. I think he's going to Michigan today to do the basketball games, so he's working hard.
Are you going to get an interview with him or no?
Yeah, we'll keep doing our weekly hits. So I'm going to try to get one with him later this week. I'm going to text him today and say, hey, if you get back and maybe Wednesday or Thursday things calm down, we could talk to him before Monday. But at the very least, it'll be Monday. Which by the way, I want to say something too on the Purdue IU thing. If and when this happened 2 years ago when Purdue was in the national championship in basketball, I lose respect, I think, if you're a Purdue fan and you rooted for Indiana last night. There is no way in the world I considered not watching every play of 2 years ago's national championship and basically from my couch was attempting to coach UConn into playing better against Purdue. I mean, I can't compute that. Like, if you're going to chant FIU at the end of every time you play, even if you're playing Northwestern, how in the world can you tell me you're going to root for them then?
Well, there's 2 issues there. I know that I told the story of my nephew, Alan, my little brother Brian's son, going down there with his IU buddies. And to get away from the hypocrisy, he went to the game, he rooted for IU, but he would not wear any paraphernalia whatsoever. Now, my dad and I, we could not be at the bar. There were too many IU fans, including my little brothers there and my little sister. They all went to IU. We just couldn't do it, and we had to leave. So we dealt with the hypocrisy by just going home and, like Adriana did, just like a little bit of a clap. Yeah. Hey, way to go, IU. And then I went to bed. It wasn't that big a deal. Can't we still hope for the Hoosier State a little bit? I mean, come on. We did it subdued. We weren't hypocritical about it.
No, I don't think you're being a hypocrite. I think it's just gross. Like, I could never do that. like honestly, and this is how I am, and I'm fortunate, so I can say this. Like, I haven't, in my life, I don't want to be somber or anything, but I haven't dealt with major loss and huge events in my life that should cause me big depression. So I always say the worst day of my life was whatever day the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. That was the worst day I've experienced on this earth. So.
Hey, hold on a second. Adriana, what's your reaction to that?
I mean, my family is a diehard Cubs fan. Like, at one point in time, yes, we are split household between White Sox and Cubs, but I gotta follow suit with the household, so we're diehard Cubs fans, and I will say that is one of the more easier presents to give to Cubs fans because you keep reminding them, yeah, you guys won in 2016.
That's it. Hey, Sam, I gotta change. I gotta shift topic. I watched the game yesterday with a coach that you're going to be a ref for tonight. You're not going to be on the call. I thought you were announcing this game. You're actually on the court tonight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not. We're just running this one via the huddle broadcast tonight. But how did you know that? Was he talking crap already?
No, it's just, I'm Hackett and I are friends, and we watch the game together. Watch the first half together.
I like Mike a lot. Mike's a good coach, so he's got a team this year. I think he needs to really, really, really coach, and that's a difficult part sometimes. You get kind of caught in between. When you're at a public school, this happens, right? You get caught in between classes where you were so good for so long, then all of a sudden, just kind of bad luck happens, and either. You know how it is in today's world. A couple guys maybe go to a different school that you thought were going to come to Munster, and you're dealing with. They don't have a bad team or anything. They still got some good players there, but it's been a rough go. I know a combination of just graduating a really good class and then having some injuries to some guys who are still there. So we'll see what they've got tonight. They're playing a little better now. They beat Highland last week and then beat Maryville on Saturday. So they're trying to turn it around. I asked Matt Maloney when we did the Highland game. When's the last time Mike Hackett was 3-7? I mean, has that ever happened in 26 years? Probably not. So they can still turn it around though, and probably win the conference.
So the game tonight, it will be on. It will be on as a huddle broadcast, and that's on the Heartland Sports Network. That is a separate company and a separate ordeal, and that will be so no announcers, but you'll be able to watch it. Sam Michael will be on the court. Who's the refereeing crew with you, Sam?
It was changing a little bit. Chris Harrow is working with me. Chris is a good official. He works some Division I stuff. I don't know who the other one is at this point, but it was supposed to be Danny Torok, who's another state final official, but I think he had to get off the game. So, yeah, the only reason I will say this, that we're not doing the game tonight, is we've got a busy week with PCC tournaments. So we're sprinkling in a couple of games outside of that around it, but we're keeping this week pretty much reserved to everything with the PCC. I think we're doing a game at Knoll on Wednesday, and then maybe a game at LC on Friday. But other than that, it's pretty much all Porter County games this week.
Sam, explain what PCC tournament and why it's so important.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. I mean, it's like you don't have to really explain it if you live down there. They just get it. You're kind of bred into it. It's this idea that if you went, you go to a certain school, you don't like the rest of them, and there's probably certain ones on those lists you don't like even more, and that's how they do, and that's a friendly rivalry, and they get after it a little bit, and there's no worry about somebody getting into fistfights or doing anything crazy on the court, but they're going to compete like crazy both on the boys and girls side, and you're going to do it in front of a packed crowd because the whole community cares. And it's kind of one of those things where it's the small town feel, where it's the only ticket in town, so to speak. And people they live that old school basket on the side of the barn and type Indiana Hoosiers, the movie type thing. And that's how they still live it in all those communities.
All right, guys, PCC tournament. The finals are this weekend or next weekend?
Yeah, it all gets done this week. So Saturday's a busy day at Hebron. They'll have 4 games, 2 boys semis in the morning, starting at 11. Then the girls championship at 6, and then the boys play right after that. Should be around 8 o'clock probably.
All right, download. Tell people how to get that on their phone or on their TV.
Yeah, it's still the Jed TV app. I'm pushing. We have no control over that. So if you're wondering, hey guys, change the name of your app. You changed your company 2 months ago. We're aware. I'm pushing our developers to do that, but they have unfortunately not been able to. So eventually it'll change over. So download the Jed TV app, and then all of a sudden one day, once they do change it, you'll just see it be the Heartland Sports Network app, and it'll be a new logo and everything. But that's still the way to do it. And then if you're on your browser, you just go to heartlandsportsnet.com. There's a button right on the front that says Watch Live. Just click that. It'll take you right to the player.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam Michael. Sam, as always, kudos on what you've built, and Peter Krakowski, Ben Cohort. We mentioned Rob Aguirre. He, of course, is at Barstool now. Sonny Santana has to be mentioned in that. Jimmy Mullaney, Sonny and Jimmy both at Big Ten Network. But you kind of corralled the whole thing together, and I can't tell you how many people over the weekend came up to me and thanked me. And I'm like, don't thank me, man. What did I do? It's all Sam Michael and
you
the other.
hired the people.
I guess so. But, Sam, you're doing a great job. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, let's talk to Verley. Verley's calling back here. 219-845-1100. Take that one. Yes, please. And we'll take, hey, Verley, what's up? I miss you.
Hey, I miss you too. Just want to report a really bad accident.
Okay.
So this is 65 northbound, right before the exit ramp to get on 8094 westbound. There is a pickup truck. It looks like a pickup truck. It's totally flipped over on its top. Emergency vehicles there, ambulances were en route, and it's causing a huge backup.
So we're looking at a backup from northbound I-65 from, as a matter of fact, as you're speaking, Verley, it's showing up, and which kind of goes to my theory that they have somebody monitoring. But you are talking about it backing all the way up past the Unions, all the way to 73rd Street right now. That's a long way to wait.
Well, it's not that backed up yet. It's backing up close to 61st Avenue right now, but it will back up further because it must have just recently happened. So the traffic is just starting to back up. I think some cars are still able to get off and get onto 8094, but right now it's in the left lane. It's probably taking out 2 lanes, and it looks really bad.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Adriana, once again, if you want to watch any of these games, there are dozens of them. But the main thing is we're going to be doing the PCC tournament. It is as Indiana. If you love Indiana and you did watch the game last night, this is small-town Indiana basketball. Westville, South Central, Moon Grove's in it, Hebron. I think the finals are at Hebron on Saturday, both the boys and girls. And we will be doing all those games, and we're proud to do that. We, of course, have 3 conferences now, the NCC network, the GSSC network, and we also have the PCC tournament. And we're proud to do the PCC conference. So we're proud to do all of those. We did a major wrestling meet on Saturday. All you got to do is download the app and make Sam happy. Adriana, any other announcements before we go to the Munster Show?
Nope. Just make sure you check out our podcast network. Somebody did ask earlier in our comment section how to find all those podcasts. Again, you find them on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, any podcast network that you can think of, as well as here on our YouTube channel. I was saying how I'm going to go in. They post both audio and video on our YouTube. I'll make sure to signify which one's which for you guys. But yeah, just check out all of the content that we're putting out, as well as check out our morning shows. Everybody is live here 6 a.m. and we continue on with our community programming, podcasting, as well as later on in the night with our sports network.
I'm going to add one thing to that, and that is we are in the process of kind of remaking WJOB to be consistent with all of the technological advancements that are happening. I'm very, direct that I spent my last 5 years building the Heartland Sports Network with Sam Michael and others. Sam's got it. These guys got it. They're doing all these games. I'm turning my attention to WJOB with Adriana, who's been put in charge of it, and some other people. I think that there are a lot of people that are going to be giving us input. If you have input, what you would like to see as we retool WJOB over the next 6 months and make it into something that will last another 102 years, all you got to do is email Adriana, that's 2 N's, at WJOB 1230, and she'll field all of the input, and we'll use it with Matt Kaufman and Joe Cimino and Lynette Lopez, and that's who it is. It's me and 4 brand new people to broadcasting and streaming, and they're bringing a unique perspective. But if you have one that you want to make sure that they're aware of, or why don't you do this, why don't you do that, doesn't matter how negative or how positive it is, we want the input. So just email Adriana at WJOB1230.com. Anything to add to that?
Nope, I think you got it.
All right, I know she says nope because I got to get out of here and Munster needs to walk in. Till next time, see you later.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and last one off a job